This is One on One. Russ Jackson is a New Jersey Sharing Network volunteer and a donor recipient. He received a heart in 2010 after several years of heart failure.
Yes, congestive heart failure.
Yeah, you have an amazing story. You really do. You started experiencing heart issues back when?
Back in actually 1987. I had a 6-way bypass.
Yeah. You're a firefighter?
No, I was a police officer.
I'm sorry, you're a police officer.
Down in
Where?
Harrison.
Harrison.
Yes.
And it's so interesting. You knew you had problems with your heart. And back in 2008, when it started to get really serious, was it clear to you that you needed a new heart?
I was in denial. Okay, I was in denial till the doctor finally told me, you definitely need a heart. And the congestion got so bad that I started swelling up.
Right.
To where I couldn't even walk.
Right.
And at that point I was taken to Hackensack.
Yes.
From there I was transferred to Columbia Presbyterian in New York, where I turned around and I was told from over there that I'd be better off getting a heart because I was at the point where I was close to the end.
Right.
They suggested I go to Newark, Beth Israel, and re-register there, which I did, and a couple of months later I received my heart.
Yeah, let's play this out, folks. You're going to see on the screen throughout this entire segment a website from the New Jersey Sharing Network. These series of programs are being done in cooperation with the Sharing Network, which you know very well. You work with them.
Yes.
Very simply, the point of these programs is to educate people about the myths, the preconceived ideas that people have, the false ideas, and try to really provide some accurate information. And you got on the list.
Yes.
You received a heart when?
2010, December 22nd, 2010.
And the person who donated his heart to you, who was he?
Well, his name was John Kelb. I learned that out 4 months later. After I received the heart, got a letter from the donor family, and we were corresponding back and forth. Finally, the donor family said, really love to meet you.
Hold on, was this all through the...
All through the New Jersey Sharing Network.
So let's be clear, the Sharing Network plays a critical role in making that happen. It isn't like people are just talking to each other on their own.
No, what happens is the correspondence go through the New Jersey Sharing Network, and they actually check out what's in the letters. There's certain things that are not allowed to be in the letters, you know, last names, addresses, so on and so forth. But once the donor family agrees to meet with you, and you agree the same,
right,
the Sharing Network at that point will give you the information you need to make actual contact with them.
By the way, what are we looking at a picture of right there? You're a meeting with the donor family? Is that what it is?
I can't see it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you can't see that far, but trust me. That is a picture of you and the donor family.
That's the first time we met in 2011.
Yeah.
We met at a diner in Freehold, and well, left to right, if you'd like to go that way, it's my wife Barbara, Aunt Joanne, Maddie, myself. Behind me is Leanne, which is the sister-in-law.
Of John?
Of John.
John the donor.
John the donor, my donor. And then there's Joe, who is John, my donor's brother. And behind him is Uncle Ray.
Why do you say that John is a hero?
Okay, well, John, the day he passed,
he was 44 years of age?
44 years old, and he donated every major organ. It's 8 major organs. So he actually saved the lives of 9 people because they took his liver, they used it up for a 17-month-old baby also. So all his major organs were donated, plus enough skin cell, bone, and so on to help an additional 50 people. So that's like the max. I mean, that's a hero.
He did it all. And you know the other thing about this, we're going to come back to the family in a second, Russ, but you know what's so amazing about this? As you read about this incredible story and what John did, some of the misconceptions. Someone says, oh my God, you know, what an amazing thing that John did. So I guess medical science must have mutilated his body. In fact, he was buried in an open casket.
Yes.
Now, the reason I say that is because he was able to be presented to people in a certain way, in a very public way. That is not how it happens. So that's one of the myths, right?
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people say. The myth is that, you know, they're going to mess you all up and they're going to just throw you in the bottom and you can't be seen. But John had an open coffin. Okay, they took his corneas, everything you could think of out of him, and he was very presentable. They would never know.
And some of the other fears and some of the other myths that are important to take on head on are what?
Well, that they're not going to wait till you're dead, for one. They're going to just start taking over. They're going to make you die or whatever, which is the worst myth ever.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't. Okay. Actually, the ER does not know that you're a donor.
They do not know.
They do not know. What happens is if you're close to death, they'll notify administration. Okay, and administration at that point will notify the New Jersey Sharing Network, and it works from there.
By the way, what do you do for the Sharing Network?
Well, that's a great question. I do a lot at this point, and
Like?
I enjoy every minute. Well, I now present.
You're here, that's part of your
Right,
work.
That's it. I now present to Eastwick colleges, the nursing staff, some of the nurses, and I tell my story. I tell the New Jersey Sharing Network story, all in a matter of trying to get people to become donors. Okay, I worked at motor vehicle stations.
Why motor vehicle stations? Isn't that where people decide whether they're going to?
Yes.
And I know mine, I'm only saying this because a lot of people do this. You check off, what does it say? Check off, say
A
if.
donor. You become a donor. You just check the box. That's
How
all
hard
it
is
takes.
it?
Check. Well, they'll ask you, "Would you like to be a donor?" And you say, "Yes, I would." Okay, check. Done.
That's it.
That's it. So
And
simple
what
it is.
you check off that box, what can you do for someone, God forbid, whatever happens, you lose your life, what can you give to other people?
Well, at the time of death is when it's decided what organs, what tissue are feasible to be used.
You
Okay?
can give life to so many others.
Yes. Like I said before, eight major organs that could save 8 people, or 9 in my donor's case, and up to 50
Yeah.
people you could help their health with. Cornea, you give
Amazing.
the sight to somebody that's never seen before. Okay, a bone, broken bone that won't heal, you can get a bone. Tissue for burn victims. Okay, so much that people could do with this, you know.
What do you think you owe John?
My life. John, because John's heart keeps beating inside of me. Okay, he makes me put my feet on the floor every day, and I walk 3 to 4 miles a day. Okay, John's done a lot for me, and I'll always honor and respect him. You know.
What do you owe his family? Because you meet them every year, don't you?
We meet every year Christmas Eve at a diner in Freehold. It's really
What's that
really
like?
great. The first time it was like kind of quiet and slow, but I found out that Aunt Joanne and Uncle Ray, he's 84, she's 80. They drove in from Rochester to visit with me, which was outstanding.
Wow.
You know? And Aunt Joanne, the first thing she did, she came over, she gave me a hug, she put her head on my chest, you know, to hear John, because she basically raised John. You know,
What's that like for you?
Tearful. I cried. I want to cry right now too. It's I really feel a lot of emotions now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know you're doing John and his family a great service, and we thank you, and the Sharing Network is the right thing by having you on board. I want to thank you, Russ.
Thank you very much.
Just keep
Appreciate
coming back
being
and we'll
here.
tell the story. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
Appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, Caldwell College, the Fidelco Group, Fedway Associates, New Jersey Sharing Network, Kessler Foundation, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, founded by the Jewish community. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.